Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Grow Home. So we only, I think, have one more skin that is unlocked. Last time we tried Plum, now we do Luchador, and then we'll just go back to the regular skin. That's a pretty colorful one. We are trying to grow the main platform, so we see where it is. Here. Fall and grab. And then we need to just find the closest stem on this main branch. I've been using lesser branches to grab rocks, and it makes it a pretty vertical situation. I mean, look here, the closest one that's pointing this way was probably supposed to go to that island. If not that island, then really where? Way up here. So we'll start making an offshoot here. Kind of just fall there. And yeah, sometimes you do have to actually turn this thing in strange ways and let go both graspers. So I basically need to go that way. That's the way I want to go. Might as well just kind of build this one right in the middle. That might save me some space, some time. Okay. So we take this branch, we walk backwards again. So in the last episode I was wondering, would it have been better if it was just a lot more climbing and a lot more difficult to get to the one branch that would automatically grow to the right place. And for as short as this game feels, I think it would have been better to do it that way. I can't help but feel that if you had just maybe doubled the length of how tall you would have to climb here, or just had one sprig on the main shoot every time, and that main one was always right near the top, that would, I think, be better. Because this is a very repetitive thing, and it is because climbing and growing plants is not a commonly thing done in video games. I don't have that blind side that I do. When you're playing a first-person shooter, or any kind of shooter really, the one thing you're just repetitively doing all the time is shooting people. But you have a blindness to that. You don't really recognize, well, I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. People don't recognize that as, oh yeah, this is really, really repetitive. But that only came about that people didn't recognize that. Because we've just happened to play so many games. It was unique for a long time, and then it got copied, and then it got a little less interesting. I'm talking in the very early days of video games. Like, you had Doom, and Doom and Wolfenstein, and I guess Wolfenstein 3D, I think was the third one. And you had a lot of games like that, and then other types of games came about, and shooters never really went away, but they became less popular in the players' minds for a while. Although there are definitely people now that just play shooters and only shooters, and have a tendency to be able to do that for non-stop. I can't really explain. I can't really explain why people who only play shooters and nothing but shooters don't realize how repetitive it is. But it might just be a different temperament. I have a temperament that gets bored easily with repetitive things, which makes me really good, I think, in playing video games for YouTube in the fashion that I do, where a lot of people would play just the same game over and over again. I would almost never do that. Is that the ship? We are getting close. Where's the rock? It's right there. Just barely didn't make it. So we now have 5 of 8. It would be really nice if the star plant bloomed and just like gigantic petals showed up. It would have been nice if that was a concept that would happen a lot more. Because we are really in this situation now where the major solid piece of Earth is really, really far down there. Not that I guess I should be expecting the game to give me solid Earth. And again, I would say, if you have a fear of heights, this might be a game for some good exposure therapy to it. What? Exposure therapy, for people who don't know, is if you have a thing that brings you discomfort, you measure it, and you say on like a scale of 1 to 10, how tense and nervous do you feel right now? And then you go through like breathing exercises and other exercises to reduce your tension, and you wait until you are calm again, and then you do the same thing, and through repetitive practice and using the techniques like exposure therapy, you would do it again, and hopefully, ideally, the way it's supposed to work is you would be less tense the next time. It's a little bit different than what most people would think of normal therapy would be, where it would be talking about what's the root cause of your fear. There's a pretty funny movie. It's pretty old, but it's still kind of funny, called High Anxiety, where they to spoilers for a very old movie here, the guy finds out he is anxious around heights because like his mother dropped him from his high chair as a kid, and his revelation is, oh, I'm not really afraid of heights, I just hate my mother. Which, okay. And so then after that he was instantly completely unafraid of heights, whereas he was deathly afraid before. Pull up, Pull up! You're too low! Pull up! Although, I'm not sure it would... This would be like an early thing, when it's cartoony and less recognizable. They're also doing the same thing with like PTSD games. They did a recent psychological study where they had soldiers coming back from war with PTSD, and they had them play a very low polygon version of a shooter. They had like a switch where they could make it look less and less realistic, and they started off very unrealistic, and as they went through the therapy, the game could become more and more realistic, and they would be able to handle it better because they have that mental escape where they can say, well, obviously this isn't real at first. It doesn't look anything like it's real, and then slowly it would become more and more realistic graphics. And for this game and Fear of Heights, I'd say it's pretty unrealistic. You're not a robot, and your planet doesn't look like this in any way. I'd like to use these flingers, but I think I'm gonna save that for later. Is that the main stock up there? So if I get back to the main stock, I can climb up it. Question is, how can I get back to the main stock? Did I get all the others? How many? It doesn't tell us how many we need to get until you're on one of those springs. So I'm hoping I can make this. Otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble, and I don't think I can make this. And if I put the flower away, this is just skydiving. This is just skydiving at this point. Do not try that at home, kids. Leave that for the trained lunatics like me. I'm just kidding. I've never been trained. But climbing up this thing really is just a lot of left, right, left, right. So, in particular, I'm just click, 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 click. And I only really want to do it to the point where I can get one of these and use that as the fast track. Now I just want to use this as a fast path upward. Is that a teleporter? No. Well, yes it is. Thought he'd been activated. Come on. I need up higher. See, even if I fell, that teleporter would be as high as I am. Wow. I got a long way to go. Let's take some opportunity to use our jetpack to our advantage here. You don't bounce. I think that's a good choice. If you ran into things with your jetpack and bounced, that would really make a nightmare. Right. There's only 2 more of these. And we can see the path we want to go. And the verticality on this is getting ridiculous. This is a sheer climb upward, practically. Now I need to decide, do I want to go for that one or a higher one? So we can see on the ship is the this game has to let us keep playing. That would be really irritating if it didn't. Ooh, that we've got to dangerously and very unsafely make that risk, don't we? We have to grow this to the top and get to that teleporter and hope the game lets us get all of our crystals and scan all the other things. Hope the game gives us fair warning and doesn't just say, oh, nope, you've made it to the top. That's all we really wanted. Too bad for you, you didn't collect everything that we had laid out to be collected. That would be very annoying. Oh, and so they're introducing a new concept here too. Now there's rocks that need to be avoided. It's not just it's an asteroid field type thing. Did I miss any? This is basically falling. Yeah. Sheer drop. Rotating myself. I'm not controlling the body, so there's probably a pretty complicated system here. Just this displaying the body so it even works this way. You could assume that the ragdollness of this is because he is being like, his limbs are magnetically held together. So let's go for this one. Because I think we'll get it. Come on, just a little further. Just a little further. Don't lose steam. Don't lose steam. Oh, it just grew right through that. And that is one little teleporter section. So that might be an indicator to say be ready for the end. since they're gonna put another teleporter uh, so close. Alright. I want to be at full fuel, and I'm gonna jump on this and then use my rocket. Well, that's not exactly where I wanted to be, but it's better than nothing. This thing is spinning. Still haven't found that space whale. I would have thought it would have been a mid-boss type thing. And maybe it is a mid-game type boss and we aren't anywhere as far as I think I am. These skins don't really matter too much. If anything, they're a hindrance. It's a thing. It's a problem with games is people bandwagon. Like in some games, a skin might matter, but very few, very few games does a skin really matter. It would be. I just finished recording The Witcher 3, and the fact that you could have different armor that made every cutscene have to be rendered in the game engine really hurt the graphics and put a bunch of visual glitches in the game. Whereas if they had just pre-rendered the scenes with a default skin, it would have been a lot better. So, yeah, I don't think textures and skins in very few games is that worthwhile. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the one we are at, which I assume is 8. And maybe there's some more, maybe there aren't. We've now got the teleport system as high as I think we're gonna get. Let's see. Is there a blinking on that ship? Yes. The ship itself is blinking. So maybe there is a teleporter up there, but what does it really matter? There aren't going to be crystals up there, are there? I think we are at the highest point, and we need to start doing things like I can see a crystal on that asteroid. Maybe you should build chutes into each of these asteroids. Maybe you shouldn't. I think it would be easier just to hop. And I think, let me just take a look and see how long we've been going. But I think that's what we'll be doing next episode. Is we'll be just hopping around looking for crystals. We want to get a lot more than what we have. We need 7 more to get to the next upgrade, which hopefully isn't just more thrust on our rocket ship. Hopefully we can pick up bigger items or maybe fly. If it's an unlimited thrust and we could just fly around at 60, that would be fine, but that's almost certainly going to be 100% if that ever was even an option. It would really break the game. There's a bunch of achievements we want to get. We haven't scanned a lot of these things, so it definitely feels like we're going to have to scan scan meeps, and apparently this is a cold style meep in a black coat. So there's definitely a lot to scan as far as statistics. Uh, the star plant is at 1,772 meters, and I'm a little bit lower than it. I think we're close to the end. Now it's the cleanup, now it's the achievements. Anyways, that's it for this episode. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media site, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.